lost tapes that could rewrite history. Number 5. The giants that inhabited our planet. Since the beginning of time, some people firmly believed in giants, and not because they have come across one on their way home, but because their faith on it. The Bible explains in numerous verses, or at least tries to do so, that in the past, people of great size and power inhabited our land. The case of Goliath is the most famous. Considered one of the biggest men, it's said that his brothers were also this way, as well as their children. But if they really existed, do you think they're still out there today? Over the years, numerous archaeological evidences have been found that ensure the possible existence of these beings all over the world. Ancient cities such as Babylon and Egypt still preserve various symbols and drawings of giants engraved on their walls. However, the biggest evidence of its possible existence that could change the course of Mediterranean history was found some time ago when several scientists discovered the giants of Monte Prama. But calm down, they're not real people, but quite the opposite. The giants of Monte Prama are sculptures between 2 and 2.5 meters high that were created by the civilizations of Nurigi, a community that inhabited the island of Sardinia between the 18th and 2nd centuries before Christ. But although experts haven't yet ensured whether these inhabitants were originally from the island or, conversely, can be linked to the sea peoples, they confirmed that Nuragi certainly inhabited the shores of the Mediterranean after being defeated on a failed mission to invade Egypt. These giants, or colossi as some people have decided to name them, were found in 1974 near the town of Cabras, west of the island. As you can see in the images, they represent warriors, archers, and fighters with shields. But unlike the existing records of similar discoveries, the statues don't have their shields attached to the side, but on the head. If so, they would prove to have belonged to ancestral rites and traditions that have been maintained on the island for more than 3,000 years. Finally, researchers aren't sure if these massive statues were the representations of heroes or mythological gods, but finding them organized around the old tombs made them think they could be guardians of the afterlife. What do you think? Were they inspired by creatures that inhabited the area? Number 4. The secret of the ruined city. When a place is abandoned by its inhabitants, no matter how majestic the construction is, there will always be rumors about it. Most of these rumors will be linked with paranormal events or portals capable of transporting us to another world. That's exactly what happens with a lost city named Nan Madol. Located halfway between Honolulu and Manila, Federated States of Micronesia on the east coast of the island of Pohnpei, various sources speculate that it may have been the capital of the Sotalor dynasty, which was very influential between the 6th century and the 16th century. But nothing has been confirmed except for the fact that it's a mysterious place where loneliness and silence reign. With a surface of more than 60 hectares of heavy and exuberant jungle, the strangest thing of the place, and that has generated the most controversy throughout history, is probably the artificial way in which it was built. Nobody knows the exact origin of the ruins. Planted on 92 small islets, the way in which they could have been created without the use of heavy technology is unknown. 400,000 huge blocks of basalt located throughout the islets were transported from the north coast of Pohnpei, and there's not the slightest idea of who or how they did it. However, one of the local legends says Nan Madol works as a gateway to a huge submerged city. After all, the structure of the place has been considered by many as legitimate proof that the legendary island of Atlantis exists. In the past, the area was inhabited by an ancient Asian civilization of which very little is known. But when in 1919 they were expelled from there by the North American troops of World War II, numerous tests showed the presence of activity of extraction of platinum and other metals of great value in the bottom of the Nan Madol canals. Did these men discover something that the Japanese couldn't find before? Later, some divers reported the presence on the seabed of large construction areas, streets and avenues covered with shells and corals, blocks, monoliths, and hundreds of other signs that Nan Madol could possibly harbor a great civilization forgotten at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. How about that? Can you imagine that the mysterious Atlantis really exists, but just not exactly where everyone thought it was? We're sure history would change. Number 3. Underground maze in Egypt. It's not surprising that official historians suddenly reveal important information about the past which was previously ignored. Taking into consideration the educational system that is handled in schools, it wouldn't be appropriate to twist the historical concept that has already been planted in their heads. However, there are discoveries that shouldn't be overlooked, much less when they have the potential to rewrite history. The Lost Labyrinth of Egypt, better known as Hawara, is undoubtedly one of those discoveries that can change the course of the world as we know it. With the perfect characteristics to be recognized among the 7 wonders of the ancient universe, its design and the complexity of construction make it an architectural work more spectacular than the pyramids of Giza. But just as it is considered a type of construction able to amaze millions of people, it keeps many secrets inside. Some rumors claim the surviving members of the Illuminati of Bavaria cults had taken control of the labyrinth for years. Supposedly in that place were the keys to the power and glory of the ancient Egyptian empire. And maybe they weren't wrong. But what they sure didn't expect was that a group of independent researchers would reveal the mystery. The testimonies and evidences presented by the team of archaeologists that explored the underground facilities ensured that various hieroglyphs were found on the walls of the site. They were able to reveal the true origin of humanity, one that would even be related to alien tribes. Can you believe it? According to them, these civilizations would have colonized the region. Time later, they would have built the structure in the shape of a secret passageway to some very private place with great value. What would they be trying to hide? Researchers continue to carry out excavations to clear this doubt. They assure they could find details about unknown civilizations in history, even great empires and rulers who have lived in our planet without us knowing anything about them. In short, a large number of events that could make us rethink the knowledge we have so far about the origins of the Earth. Number 2. The Bible of Secrets. For a long time, various manuscripts have appeared that want to change the course of history. And although some are more incredible than others, curiosity will always remain a present footprint in the face of the unknown. The Kolbrin Bible is part of these documents that have caused people to question what the true origin of humanity is. Known as the first Jewish-Christian manuscript that connects our scientific understanding of human evolution, creationism, and intelligent design, this Bible is based primarily on the mathematical principles of Kolbrin. They reflect the interests of the ancient Druids in the stars and the catastrophes that occurred worldwide. The Kolbrin Bible is a secular anthology that is about 3,600 years old. Written by the ancient Egyptians and Celtic priests, it has two parts that go from the Old to the New Testament, very similar to the Christian Bible. However, experts say that the prophecies reported there are warnings about a spatial type of disaster, an event that would cause global extermination, taking more than 90% of life on the planet. How about that? The extraterrestrial force that would be responsible for creating this catastrophic event called Destructor, where a star with its own magnetic field would collide against our planet. According to the data, it's an event that would be repeated for a second time. The first impact took place 3,600 years ago and devastated the colonies of Egypt and other cultures of the time. How about that? Do you think these predictions can be true? Whether it's false or not, it keeps being one of the greatest mysteries ever found throughout history. And its confirmation would be able to rewrite the origins of the world as we know it. What do you think now? Number 1. The Map of Secrets? Throughout history, mysterious maps, books, and scrolls have appeared in order to explain our origins. But there's one in particular that has unleashed great controversy in today's world. This is the prevails, a map that dates from 1513 and that, according to some researchers, reveals great mysteries capable of rewriting the history of mankind. What secrets does this piece of paper hide? We're getting there. It was discovered in 1929 at the Topkapi Palace in Istanbul when the building was remodeled into a museum. Painted on a piece of gazelle leather and centered over the Atlantic Ocean, it was believed to be part of the world map. However, with time, they discovered it wasn't like that. The creator of this map was the admiral of the Ottoman fleet, known by the nickname prevails. In it, the coasts of Europe, Africa, and the Americas are drawn with surprising precision. But prevails not only detailed the coastal contour of South America and Antarctica, but also added each river, lake, and mountain of a continent that supposedly hadn't been fully explored. Can you believe it? It's said that, although the North American part of the map was full of geographical mistakes, the eastern South American coastline was very well detailed. Some researchers came to the conclusion that this nautical chart could have only been made based on aerial photographs. But this hypothesis is also somewhat improbable, taking into account it dates back to 1500s approximately. By that time, there were no machines with enough technology to capture photographs. In addition, the Antarctic continent appears perfectly detailed in it, and it is assumed the geographic data of Antarctica came to be offered after expeditions between 1949 and 1952 by the British and Norwegians. The continent also appears without ice. How can that be possible? It has been estimated that the coasts of Antarctica have been frozen for more than 6,000 years. Which map did prevails take the reference to trace his own? Have we been cheated all this time? The answer remains a mystery, but if the truth is revealed, we're sure our history will be very different from what it is now.